Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Nitro Racing League here on the channel. The second race of the second round of the playoffs. We are already locked into the next round, so it doesn't matter for us, but we go into Iowa Speedway here tonight. First of all, I just want to say sorry for the lack of content. Recently I've been really busy and just having a lot of personal stuff going on, but I am happy to be back and actually getting into the grind here. But we come through, like I said, into Iowa. I hadn't really made any laps beforehand coming into this race, so I was a little bit concerned on how this was going to go. But I should say stage 1 is 40 laps, stage 2 is 40 laps, so stage 1 ends when we hit lap 41, stage 2 ends when we hit lap 81, and then the race, I believe, ended when we hit lap 161, if I remember correctly. I should be correct now as we complete this first lap, but not the greatest qualifying effort here now as we come through turns 1 and turns 2, right on the back of the 19 of RJ here. But like I said, not the best qualifying effort for myself, but I was still confident that we could have a good run. I was running, I think, preset 4 if I remember correctly, and we were carrying the momentum here on the top lane. The top lane's where I felt the most comfortable, so I figured we were going to stay up here probably most of the race here as we go down towards turns 1. There you see the teammate of the 18 of Bryce there having a bit of a mishap as we're right behind both of our teammates on the 18 and the 19. We were the worst running JGR car at this point. There was Snakebite, had a leg spike, and of course I was in the path, and we had to rally back from that. Now as we got back to the outside of the 19 of RJ there, now on lap 7, a little bit disappointed with what happened. It was, like I said, was a setback, but we climbed our way back forwards now into P5, and as we came through on lap 8, the 18, the 20, all of the JGR crew right here together as we went down towards turns 3. But definitely some confidence at this point. Running P4, we get right in behind our teammate of Matt, who gets into the wall on the exit of turn 2. We get loose and then hit him on lap 11, and he drops back a little bit. There's RJ goes down into turns 3. He takes over the 3rd position as it was the 88 of Combat at this point, leading the races. We came through now on lap 13. I was starting to lose handling in the car. You're going to see it right there as we slip and slide out of turn 4. We save it, but right here was just a game changer in this first stage. The handling in the car just completely died off as I came through turns 1 and turns 2. I could barely do anything. Jay drives into the back of me just because all of a sudden I had to pedal the car really hard, and unfortunately we lose another position here as we drop down to P9 behind Jay as we came through the center of the corner. So definitely struggling here at this point as we then ended up getting into the back of Jay on lap 18, and then out of turns 4 he gets a little bit loose and then he would go crashing behind us. No caution because there was only one car. Keep in mind it needs to be 2 cars together in a crash to cause a caution in the same incident, I should say. Now as we came through on lap 20 at this point, just slipping and sliding all over the place as the 18 of Bryce, our teammate, he would go around, we would actually hit him, then the 1 was spinning. No caution though, as we would keep things straight, as in reality I didn't know if they would call a caution for that because I did drive straight into the 18, but either way it doesn't matter. We would keep things green. Still running P6 as we came through on lap 24. Past halfway point in the stage, you can see the car just slipping around here as we hit about 16 to go at this point in stage 1. I was so far behind the 88 of Combat. The car was driving terrible. I knew changes needed to be made in this car, so I was planning to do that when I had the opportunity, but the problem was I didn't have the best idea on what to do, and we come through now on the end of lap 25, very sideways on the exit of turns 4. We go through the infield, and I know we got to get back on track as quick as possible. There's, you see some cars coming, but we're still P5 at this point as we slide back on, and obviously had to come to the pit lane as quick as possible. We come to lap 26, and it was time to make our pit stop. I was very, very careful coming into the pit lane. Pit road speed was 40 miles per hour. I make some wedge adjustments. I thought about doing tire pressure adjustments as well as grill tape. That would happen here and there. But we got a 4-tire stop, 15.7 seconds, and we would get out here in P6, just in front of our P7, just in front of Justin there in the 1 car. It was the 88 of Combat still out front, knowing that at this point in stage 1, we had a terrible car. We had nothing for these guys. We get to the inside of Christian, though, a few laps later. I think he'd already pitted or something like that. I can't remember, but either way, we would pass him, take over the 6th position, and that was kind of as far as we got here as we came through turns 3. And out of turns 4, lap 35, once again, we lose the back of the car. We go sliding, and this time we overcorrect, go spinning, and then we get hit. And the 37 of Christian is involved, and that would bring out our first caution of the night here in Iowa. Thankfully, we stay on the lead lap, but obviously this would set up a very late stage 1 restart, a 2-lap dash actually to decide the end of stage 1 here. Now as the green flag would be back out, we had to start towards the back, obviously being the reason for the caution. So definitely just knowing at this point right here, something is majorly wrong. We've won the last 3 races. We won 3 races in a row coming into tonight here in Iowa, and here we are running like absolute trash when we're trying to make it 4 in a row to come through turns 3. There's the 19 of RJ going up the inside of the 12. He's going to slide up though and put the 12 into me. There as we get into the wall. Here's the white flag is out for stage 1 combat, and the 88 still leads the way as we go down into turns 1 for the final time, as I was just trying to ride it out here to the end of the stage, knowing we're not going to get stage points unfortunately here as we go down this backstretch, but we are locked into the next round of the playoffs obviously, since we won the last race, which was the first race of the second round of the playoffs, so we don't have anything to worry about, but I still want to be running good as we exit turns 4. It was the 88 of combat winning stage 1. We come through to cross the line and get P10. It's very disappointing to say the least. So I knew we had a lot of work to do here in Iowa after that complete mess of a stage. We wrecked once, we just about wrecked a couple times, but we would get back going here for stage 2 from P10 or so now, as it would be, like I said, the checkered for stage 2 is when we hit lap 81 as a 19-year-old gets into the 22 there on the restart down into turn 1, as you see Christian in the 37 on our inside as we exit turns 2. They didn't really want to leave that bottom lane. Some drivers were able to make the bottom work. I really wasn't able to. And the cool thing about Iowa in this game, especially in online, is it really felt like for the first time, I think, this year here, we could actually make lane racing work. You didn't have to just all run the same line, so I was very, very happy with the product of this racetrack and would love to race here more, even though I'm struggling at this point really hard now as we're still running P10, but we come through on lap 46. We would get to the outside of our JGR affiliate teammate of Jay as we exit turns 2, and we'd move up into P9. We're just running terrible at this point, as we would actually then get past the 19 and the 12, who were coming together once again there as we pass them on the exit of turn 2. So now we're up into P7, having a little bit more confidence. We come through on lap 48, and we have this whole group of cars together. The one of Justin, he gets into the wall. We get to the inside of him, clearing for P6 as we go down towards turn 1. RJ would get to my inside as we went down into the corner and try to take the position away from me as well, but we would hang on at this moment for the spot. Now as we look to the outside of the 24 as well, and pass him as we went down towards turns 3. You really had to pounce on the opportunities as soon as you could get them, as there was a 20 of Matt leading the way, our teammate and team owner of Karma, then the 9 and myself get together a little bit there as we go down to this front straightaway, and then I actually caused a big crash as we go down towards the turns. When I had a leg spike, I hit the 9 in the back and caused a big incident. That brings out the caution. So far, 2 cautions, and I've caused both of them. That one, obviously, none of my own doing. I had a leg spike, and you can see what happened there. This is the end result. We smashed into the 9 and ruined everything for him. Fortunately, that was, I think, my only leg spike of the night, and unfortunately, it came at a bad time right there when we were in a pack of cars, and we just completely destroyed Andrew and a few others now as we get back going here, though, on lap 52. The 88 of combat battling for the lead with our teammate of Karma, a.k.a. Matt, as we came through turns 3 and out of turns 4. The 19 is going to get into the outside wall. We make contact with him after he hits the wall, as we're now P10 there. Certainly not what we wanted. We get cleared by the 48 as well as we go down through turns 1, but we would get back past him. We would pass the 37. We would get to the outside of Jay on lap 55 here, going down the front stretch. We would pass him as well for the 8th position as we went down towards turns 1. We come through a handful of laps later, now on lap 61, down into turns 1. Still P8 at this point, but the 1 of Justin and the 9 of Andrew come together there. We're going to get past the 1 car here as we go down the backstretch. So back up into P7, trying to rally our way back forwards, knowing we're struggling so hard. Our teammate of Matt, he had fallen off quite a bit. Now as they were all coming together in front of us at 12, he would go spinning on lap 66. Nobody else got into him. Green flag would stay out. We are up now into P6. Lap 74 now at this point. Drivers starting to come into the pit lane. I overcorrect on the exit of turn 4. The handling was starting to slip away again, and the car was just driving like trash. I noticed that really the long run, I just had nothing for anybody. So we come into the pit lane though on lap 75. Of course, I managed to hit the wall as well in the process. Only a 2-tire pit stop here, as there wasn't a whole lot of time left in this second stage. Very short amount of time, I should actually say, here in stage 2, because we exit the pit lane on lap 76, and we're all right now a lap down due to the 48 not pitting. So there's only a few laps to go at this point here in stage 2 as we go down towards turns 3. There you see our teammate of RJ just up in front. Jay was just behind me. We come to now approaching the final lap of stage 2, and now as we exit turns 2, we're sideways though, and we're all going to once again go spinning down the back straightaway. The 37, he's already on on the final lap, so I have to get the car gathered up as quickly as possible. But unfortunately, the 37 of Christian, he drives by, and now we are going to be the second car a lap down as the car is trying to spin out there as we go down into turns 3. As we exit turns 4, Christian wins stage 2, and we're the second car a lap down, which means we are now going to be trapped a lap down here going into the third stage. Very disappointed there, as that was all on me once again. The car was driving so bad, and I just made a mistake, and we will get back into the green flag for the start of the third and final stage, which, keep in mind, like I said, the third and final stage ends, I believe, when we hit lap 161, the race does end. But right now, we start this third stage 1 lap down, so we need to hope for a caution as quickly as possible, because even if we go up and unlap ourselves, we're not going to have enough time to be able to run down anybody else. So we come through now. Actually, I made some pretty big adjustments. I desperately connected with Matt in the 20 car on Discord, and it was asking him for some advice because I had no idea what I was doing there as we got together a little bit, and he helped me out a lot now as we were actually up driving with the drivers in the top 5. We come through on lap 95, or lap 96, obviously, since I'm a lap down. We're up here passing some of the faster cars that have been out on this track tonight, so definitely I made some adjustments that were clearly working in our favor. As we exit turns for the 18 of Bryce had a moment as well. We were obviously still stuck down in P10 at this point now, as we were at this point second, quote-unquote, trying to run down the 88, but still P10 due to being a lap down. But then the 24 would get to my outside, then he would get the position there as we came out of the corner. But just really disappointing, and it was really boring, obviously, riding around by myself at this point. And we come through all the way to lap 106. The car was extremely loose, and, well, we go into the outside wall again, go spinning. Car is still driving like trash, and I'm just terrible at this point. But everyone, like I said, was starting to do the green flag pit stops again, so I actually came into the pit lane, put 4 tires on, 2 cans of fuel, and we would come back out of the pit lane. But to my surprise, we were starting to gain a little bit of ground, hoping that we were going to get a caution, but it seems like we weren't going to get the caution that we were asking for at this point. But there's still quite a bit of time left. We come through all the way to lap 117 now, 10 laps or so later, running P9, so we had gained a position, and then there was a group of cars just in front of us that I was keeping my eye on, and sure enough, on lap 125 now, they all come together, but unfortunately, none of them went crashing. So, no caution, stays green here as we go down into turn 3, the 1 and the 19 make a little bit of contact. I was hoping dearly they were going to crash each other. Unfortunately, did not quite happen here as we went down the front stretch. But we had now moved up into P8 at least, so just hanging on. We had at least now gained a few positions up into, like I said, the 8th spot. We come through now on lap 127. Like I said, just hoping somebody was going to crash and collect someone else, but it looked like at this point it wasn't going to happen. We come through all the way to lap 132. Now coming back into the pit lane, the final 30 laps at this point in the race, and it was still green. The whole final stage so far has gone green, so we put 4 tires on again, 2 cans of fuel, exit the pit lane, and just hope for that yellow flag that I was confident we could still get now as we go down the backstretch. Resuming here, we come through now on lap 136, right behind our teammate of Bryce. We get to the inside of him. The 24 was out front leading at this point here as we went down towards turns 1. We come through on lap 141 now, passing the 37 of Christian as we went down towards turns 1 and 2. He was trying to stretch it on field to make it to the end of this race. We come through on lap 154 though, all the way to less than 10 laps to go at this point. Still no caution here in the race, but we had somehow climbed up to P7, so we had somehow gotten a half-decent spot, and as I was actually starting to save a little bit of fuel here as we came through turns 3 and turns 4, just trying to make sure I was going to be okay to make it to the end of this race. We come through on lap 156. I actually started intentionally backing up my pace so we could get a little bit of content here with Bryce, who was always down to create some content. Sure enough, he full sends into turns 3, and I knew right here we're going to have a good little scrap with our buddy of Bryce here with the final few laps as we go down towards turns 1. He full sends once again through turns 1 and 2, and we're going to cross him over to the inside, but he's going to be able to carry the momentum here down the backstretch now as we're going to be side by side down into turn 3. We want to try and slide up in front of him, don't we? So we send it in pretty deep, and we're now going to sit in front of him, but then down to turns 4, he crosses me over, and now he would take the position back, or not the position, obviously, since we're still trapped a lap down, but then he hits the wall as we go down towards turns 1, and we would hold on here for the moment. But now we were coming up to just the final lap here. We come through to the final lap of the race. The 24 car already in turns 3 and turns 4. It was going to be King Outbreak who would win the race. I don't know his real name, so we're just going to say King Outbreak, his gamer tag. He wins here in Iowa as we go down towards turn 3, somehow up in P6. A lap down. Keep in mind his Bryce is going to send it one more time as we're going to hit each other here through turn 4. Contact is made and we have been put into the wall, but it doesn't matter since we're a lap down. We cross the line to finish in P6 here in Iowa. A disappointing night to say the least. And hopefully we can turn it around in the next race, which the next race is the Eliminator Race of the second round, and it is Talladega. It is going to be hopefully really wild, or everyone's going to run single file. Not really sure how it's going to go yet, but we are going to find out pretty quick now as we would get ready to come up and congratulate the 24 on his victory. I think that's his second win of the season, maybe something like that. 2 or 3 I think he has. But there you see the playoff grid after Iowa going into the Eliminator Race at Talladega. Snakebite and Jay, our 2 teammates affiliated, are out. Snakebite out by 18, Jay by 29. Both of them realistically are going to probably have to win. So we're going to help them the most we can at Talladega. Thank you for watching, everybody, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a great day.